Okay, let's dive right in. We all know aloe vera, right? It's soothing, it's natural, and it's a fantastic ingredient for products that people really love and buy again and again. But how do you actually turn that into a successful online business? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the exact steps to launch a trustworthy and profitable aloe vera brand right here in the UK.
Now, let's be totally honest for a second. The first thing that probably pops into your head is, isn't everyone already selling this stuff? And you know what? You're not wrong. The market is absolutely packed with products making all sorts of vague promises, leaving customers totally confused about what's even in the bottle. But here's the twist. That confusion, that is your single biggest opportunity. Seriously, because if you can be the one seller who is clear, honest, and specific, you will immediately stand out from the crowd. In this market, trust is everything, and I'm going to show you exactly how to earn it.
So, where on earth do we start? Well, the number one mistake that new sellers make is trying to sell everything to everyone. Aloe skincare, aloe for your hair, aftersun, even pet products. It just becomes a random mess. The real key to success is to pick one clear lane and stay in it. And just look at how specific these angles are. Instead of just aloe, think more like post-shave comfort or fragrance-free routines for sensitive skin. For most people just starting out, body care is probably the easiest place to begin. Customers are just less anxious about trying new body products than facial skincare, and the benefits are way more straightforward to talk about. Once you've got your niche, you need to boil it down into one single powerful sentence. Now, this isn't just some fluffy tagline. It's your North Star. It makes your brand instantly understandable and keeps all your marketing laser-focused. If your big promise is just aloe is good, you've got to dig deeper. What specific problem are you solving for someone? Okay, you've got your focus, which is great. Now you need some actual products. But again, the key here is that less is more. A small, carefully chosen collection that feels complete is so much more effective than a huge, confusing catalog of stuff. So the trick is to think of it like building a system. You start with a hero product, something simple and classic, like a great aloe gel. Then you build around it with a few products that create a routine, like a body lotion or maybe a hand cream. And finally, you package them up into bundles, which brings me to a really smart marketing tactic. And this little table just illustrates the point perfectly. Nobody wakes up in the morning thinking, you know what I need? A 3-piece bundle. No, they think, my skin feels dry, or I need something for after I've been in the sun. Naming your bundles by the outcome the customer wants makes their buying decision incredibly simple. And trust me, it can seriously boost your average order value. Okay, this is it. This is the most important part of this entire guide. Remember how we said the market has a major trust issue? This is how you fix it. Transparency isn't just some buzzword. For you, it's going to be your entire business model. You absolutely have to know your product inside and out. That means asking your suppliers these tough questions. Even if you don't put every single technical detail on your product page, just knowing the answers gives you the confidence to stand behind what you sell. And being upfront about things like preservatives, that shows you respect your customers and that you're prioritizing their safety. This is so crucial for staying out of trouble and building a brand people actually believe in. You need to sell the experience. Talk about the cooling gel texture or how it helps skin feel soothed. What you have to avoid are medical claims like heals burns or cures eczema. That's not just risky from a legal standpoint, it just makes you sound shady and untrustworthy. In the long run, clarity sells so much better than... All right, you've nailed down your niche, you've got your products, and your messaging is all about trust. Now it's time to get practical. Let's talk about the nuts and bolts of turning this into a real business, pricing for profit, and actually getting the word out. So many sellers fall into this trap. They underprice their products because they only think about the cost of the item itself. But just look at this breakdown. Your packaging, your postage, those payment processor fees, and yes, your own time. It all adds up. If you don't account for all of these real costs, you might be busy, but you definitely won't be profitable. Your product page really only has one job: to answer every single question a customer might have before they even think to ask it. Be incredibly specific. What's the texture like? Who is this product perfect for? How exactly do I use it? A detailed product page is your best salesperson. It works 24/7, building the confidence someone needs to finally click Add to Cart. So, where are you going to find these customers? Well, visual platforms like Instagram and TikTok are just perfect for showing off product textures and demonstrating routines. And please, do not overlook email. It's absolutely fantastic for encouraging those all-important repeat purchases, especially when you run seasonal campaigns for things like after-sun care in the summer. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now let's tackle the final hurdle that stops so many amazing ideas from ever getting off the ground. The how. As in, how do you actually get your shop online without getting totally lost in a sea of technology? You've already done the hard work, right? You've figured out your niche, your products, your message. The absolute last thing you want is for the technical side of building a website to completely derail your entire project. It's a really common fear, but it's one you can definitely overcome. And this is where done-for-you services can be a total game changer. One example is a service called Make Local for Global. It's designed specifically for people who just want to sell their products online, but don't want the headache of becoming a web developer. These types of services handle the entire setup for you, so you can focus on what you actually do best, your products. What makes this kind of approach so appealing is just how simple and affordable it is. For a clear, one-off price, you can get a professionally built, trustworthy-looking online shop, and that often includes the setup and hosting for the whole year. It just removes that final massive barrier that stops so many people. So that's the roadmap. The aloe vera market is definitely noisy, but it is also full of customers who are desperate to find a brand they can actually trust. So the choice is really yours. Are you going to add to the confusion, or are you going to be the one who finally provides some much-needed clarity?